Hey, good morning everybody. I came up with a new recipe I call Black Forest Cobbler. I adopted a cobbler recipe and made a couple of changes and it came out really good. Now, if you're going to serve this hot out of the oven, obviously you can't put whipped cream on it at the end because it'll just melt and go everywhere unless you like that, or if you want to serve it cold you can put some whipped cream on it at the end. It's pretty quick to make. First thing you do is preheat your oven to 375. And get the water boiling for the cherries, and here's the list of ingredients. So the oven's heating up and the water's boiling for the dried cherries. Just to show you, I do have some nice dried cherries here. Now if you can't get those, you can just use canned cherries. If you got sour cherries or whatever, just drain the liquid off of them and you won't have to soak those at all. Or some of them come in glass jars. So just get your butter in a microwave proof baking dish. That's also oven safe because you're going to be doing all of it in this dish. And what you do is just pop that in the microwave, and I do it at 30-second increments on high just until the butter's melted. So the butter just melted. That took about a minute and a half. I'll just set this aside for the time being. The kettle just went off. Got a cup of the dried cherries here, and just cover that with boiling water. You don't have to measure that at all. Now if you don't have almond extract, you can leave it out. It just lends a very nice flavor to the cherries, and yeah, this stuff you should measure because it's quite strong. And just stir that up a bit. What you're doing is you're adding a bit of flavor to the cherries and letting the water rehydrate them before you bake them. Next step is mix all your dry ingredients in a bowl. Sugar, flour, cocoa, and baking powder. Just whisk that up until it looks pretty much even. Set that aside. Mix the milk and the vanilla extract in a bowl. Just mix that up a little bit before adding it to the dry ingredients. Now at this stage you have to make sure that your oven is hot, because once the fluid hits the baking powder, if you're not ready to go, you'll lose your rise and the dish won't turn out. I checked and my oven is hot, so all the milk goes in all at once. And just gently stir that up so it doesn't splash too much. Now if it's a bit lumpy, don't worry about it. Speed is important right now. Just get it all mixed in. Get your pan with the melted butter. And just pour it right into the middle of the butter. I like to use a spatula for this part to make sure that I get everything in the bowl, or as much as I can, because it is kind of sticky. Now, you don't have to do anything to that at all. Just take that, pop that in the oven at 375 and set your timer for 15 minutes. The alarm went off at 15 minutes and I pulled it out, and you can see it's went right up to the top. It didn't boil over. The sides are sort of cooked. You want to do this half and half, like you want to bake it without filling, so it's not too sticky. So what I'm going to do now is just drain the cherries over the sink. So just get a strainer, pour them all in, shake it a bit, and just leave it in the bowl on the side while you do the jam. So I've got a 1 cup 250 ml jar of jam, and I already used half of it, so you're going to use a half a cup of jam. And what you do is just take it out in little spoonfuls like that and kind of dot it over the surface. What you don't want to do is you don't want to push down, oops, see I screwed up, kind of roll out if you do that. You don't want it right at the edges. But it's sort of pillowy in the middle, and if you push down on it too much, you're going to have it all gummy and stuck together. It will do that a little bit, but not too much if you're careful. And some people like gummy cobblers, some don't. But the outside corners are definitely going to be crispy at the end. So you can always serve that to whoever likes that bit. And some people even like this with whipping cream on it after, the liquid kind, which you can do if you want, or ice cream. Get the cherries in the strainer and just carefully sprinkle them over the top. This is a cobbler. This is not like it's for a competition or a cooking class or something, so don't worry if it's a little off. And then pop that in the oven for exactly 15 minutes and you're done. So first thing, always turn off your oven. It's a good habit to get into. So that is fresh out of the oven. You can still see it bubbling at the edges. I'll just zoom in there. The cherries have rehydrated quite nicely. The jam has blended into the surface of the cobbler. It's all looking good. And if I didn't have to go to work in 10 minutes, I would wait till this cooled off and cut you a slice and show you. But trust me, it came out just great. Please try it. It's as simple as it looked to make it. If you do what I did, it'll come out exactly like this. Okay, so thanks for watching. I do hope to see you again.